Now, Warren Hogan, the OPEC decision. Explain why they're cutting their oil production and what that means for us.
Well, I think they're worried that prices are falling too much, is the simple answer. And they were falling quite a lot earlier in the month, or in March, I should say. So they want to put a floor under the oil price, and they've successfully done that. They've risen about 8% in the last few days. But the prices are only back to where they were a month ago. The issue is, how much further do they rise? And are we going to see this again? Most forecasters think the oil price will go up to around $90, $95, and that is not a great outcome, because we're actually wanting oil to come off, as it has been for the last 6 to 9 months, to help with this inflation problem, to help bring the cost of living down. This complicates that. But it's not a major lift just yet. But if oil starts going up above $100 a barrel or more, then I think we've got a bit of a problem, given how high inflation is all around the world. And we're actually hoping oil prices coming down would take some of the pressure off and help central banks get the job done on bringing inflation back to their targets of around 2%.
So finally, where do you think we're all going to be by Christmas, the economy?
It's slowing, but it's slowing from very strong rates. Employment's strong, but it'll start to slow as well. I think the real issue is inflation going to come down quick enough? And now what we're seeing in the US is it's sort of stalled at around 5%. It's come down a bit, then stopped. And of course, the big issue is wages. And that's the core driver of inflation going forward. And the ACTU's claim last week for 7%, I think, is a bit of an insight into where we're headed. And so, look, I think the economy is actually going to be doing okay, but it's a case of good news on the economy is bad news, because we're not going to get inflation out of the system without the economy slowing. So that's the real issue. I think we're going to see some more rate hikes. The Reserve Bank can't walk away from it completely. I think the real story is whether or not we've got to do a lot more rate hikes into next year and we get a recession later. That all remains to be seen. But at the moment, the economies are holding up pretty well.